afternoon. This is the knitting news from Knit Happens Teesside for the 24th week of 2024. The other night at knitting, Helen showed us her daffodil. And she's working on puff daisies, which she's going to put along the edge at regular intervals of her spring garden blanket. So she had a little box with all flowers and she's trying all different ones. So she's done a pansy and then she's done a daffodil. She's changed the middle of her blanket also. So it is now, it was like a white sparkly fountain in the middle of a garden, I think, but she didn't like it. So it's now something green, I think. I'll have to get a picture. Jill has finished the back of her Lace Tea by Pat Strong. There were a couple of disasters on Thursday. One being... Shut up. Right, be quiet and get off them stairs! That's my dog mum voice, because what they do is they sit on the stairs and then bark every time they see somebody going past. And really the person that they're barking at is their own dad, because he's out on the drive fiddling with the van. He took the wheel off the van. I'm not quite sure what he's doing, but there's a wheel off. And that wheel's next to the back gate. And then we set off on our dog walk this morning and the scrap man was there. And I said, they haven't took your wheel off. He had to run back just to check that his wheel was still there, because they do that, don't they? If you don't pin it down, they think you've left it out for them. But I think a three-wheel van might not be very successful. Anyhow, yes, Jill's made this beautiful back, all lace, of her latest top. And we do think, well, the yarn had no bands on, but we do think it's silk or rayon or cotton or something like that. There's not a lot of give in it, and it's got a sheen and it feels very soft. Well, her little incident was she spilt a little bit of coffee on it. I don't know if it was on the way home or somehow she got a little bit of coffee on it. Coffee. Black coffee. So she'll have to wash it, and we all know how Jill is with washing her knitting, but we do think that with it being that kind of a yarn that it probably won't felt or shrink. Fingers crossed. I don't know if she's washed it yet. We'll have to see. The other disaster was, you know, when you're driving along and you see something hanging down from a car and you think, oh, there's something wrong with that car. Do you think they know? And then you realise that it might be sort of a belt off the coat or something like that. Well, I did see somebody like that on the way home, and then I got out of my car, bearing in mind we've had rain most of the week, but we've had one or two lovely spells of weather. I got out of the car and I felt something wet against the back of my legs, and I thought, what's that? Why have I got wet just getting out of the car? And then I realised that I'd driven all the way home on wet roads with the back of my dress, pinafore dress, hanging out the door like an OAP. Like an oblivious middle-aged woman. Maybe I am. So that was the other disaster. But it wasn't that much of a disaster. Not a knitting disaster. So the knitting's all right, it's just not progressing very well because I'm too busy at the moment with other things. I spend most of my time sitting here. And when Neil visited, Neil from Block Mag, he said, where do you do your filming? Where do you do your filming? Because I showed him my sewing room and he was like, because you only see one view, don't you? So I thought I would show you the other view. So I have two windows, which is great because I have good light. and this is where I spend all my time. Started waffling. So that was Jill's. So I'll show you mine. I'm still making Collecting Breeze. So I managed to finish a cuff on Thursday. And then, so the split at the side, I've started working on my underneathy bit. The split's nearly at the armhole, isn't it? Not far. So that will sit underneath like that. But it's gathered. So on the inside, you pick up stitches and then you do some increases. So that'll sit, well, it has to be stitched down the edges. And then when I get to the bottom, I think I have to pick stitches up along there as well. Join it all together. So there's a split at each side. But now so that's where I'm at with that. So if anything was finished for the sweater challenge, which is kind of it's open. I don't think you had to join. I think all you have to do is follow the politically incorrect knitters or sweaty challenge. Sweater challenge. You need to finish a sweater in May or June. So we're getting near the end. It has to be a complete sweater, but it can be a little baby sweater, and all you have to do is share it on your social media like Instagram with the correct hashtag, which will be if you manage to complete a cardigan or a sweater with sleeves by the end of June, and it can be an FO, but it needs to be like a full garment. I don't think it had to be cast on. So this is an FO. A UFO actually. This is a UFO. I am wearing Lupin by Marie Wallin. I'm also wearing Crazy Cat Lady earrings that go with my Crazy Cat Lady bag. Because I can. You feel like a bit of a fake being a crazy cat lady when you haven't got a cat. Our cat started meowing at me every night in the early hours, coming in, jumping on the bed and meowing, but I don't know why, because she doesn't get any response. I don't open my eyes or stroke her or get up and do anything for her. I just lie there thinking, oh, that bloody cat meowing again. Anyhow, this is Lupin by Marie Wallin, and it does have a bit of an ever-growing neck that I have already gone across with something, and this is my trademark. Almost every garment I have has a little bit of a I forgot, usually up a sleeve. So this is made with Barocco Andean Mist, which is a very expensive yarn if you have a look on, I don't know if it's discontinued, but if you look on eBay, most of it is in America, and it's really quite pricey, but it's absolutely gorgeous. So it's a mix of Suri alpaca and silk, and it's very light. There's some of it in my shawl, my Ugly Cat's shawl. So it's very soft, much softer than Kid Silk Haze or the mohair lace. And it's warm, and it weighs hardly anything. It's very lightweight. I do have some more somewhere that's kind of like a navy blue, I think, and I won't have paid much for it because that's not really generally what I do. I either, well, I do buy things I fancy at shows. I don't go to wool shops very much at all. I buy more at shows and eBay. If I'm a bit bored, I might have a look on eBay and see what there is. But I don't remember where I came across this yarn. But it's so lovely, I keep a look out for it. And Marie Wallin, I have a little story about Marie Wallin. I don't know if I have mentioned it before, but I don't know if I've mentioned it on here before. So I would regularly go to the shows with my friend Maggie, and she was a big Marie Wallin fan. So every time we saw her, Maggie would buy a kit or a pattern or a book or both or all. And generally it wasn't that much of my cup of tea. So I never bought anything, and I used to stand there and hold her bags for her. And Marie and Maggie were on first name terms. And one of these times she turned and she said to me, "Do you knit?" I was standing there in a cardigan that I had knitted all by myself. And I suppose it was an assumption, but talk about insulted. Yeah. So this is called lupin, and it's not typically Marie Wallin, is it really? But I do love it. I think it was a pattern from when she was still with Rowan, and that's why it's not the Fair Isle that she's really known for. Apparently, if you grow lupins in the garden, they put nitrates, I think it is, back into the soil, so they're very good for your garden. And they're kind of a big showy flower, aren't they? So I never was very much interested in lupins, but see, the next generation, my daughter, who's interested in gardening, has said, "Oh, we need some lupins." She might come back with some. And then she said, "Have we got space for a yellow honeysuckle?" And we always find space. So my garden's been on before, hasn't it? And we don't really worry about where we're going to put things that much. We just buy what we like and find a space. It's like wool. Buy what you like and find space. So I think that's about it for this week. I think I'm going to put a Millie montage at the end for you. So she's doing absolutely fantastically. So I think that's about it. Some more news, maybe next week. What do you want? What do you want? Not a shoe.